Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Chrome Soft Golf Ball from Callaway.
Hello, I'm Anna Jackson, and this is your Golf Central update. Well, the story in golf continues to be the ruling against those 3 LIV golfers, not allowing them to participate in the FedEx Cup playoffs. So for more, we send it out to Todd Lewis.
Well, the last time we saw Rory McIlroy competing, he was shooting a final round 70 at the Open in St. Andrews. He started that final round with a share of the lead. Ultimately, Cam Smith became the champion golfer of the year. After the Open, Rory spent 2 weeks in Europe. He didn't hit a shot, he didn't go to the gym, and ate a lot more comfort foods. I caught up with Rory on Wednesday, and I asked him, after he's had a chance to now digest what happened in St. Andrews for more than 3 weeks, where's his head heading into the FedEx Cup playoffs?
It certainly took me a few days to get back to feeling like myself again. I think as I reflect on it, I think Cam going and shooting 64 and 6 under on the back 9, it softens the blow a little bit because I went out in the final round of a major championship tied for the lead, and I didn't make a bogey. I didn't make enough birdies, but I didn't really make any mistakes. There's three holes I didn't get the ball up and down that made the difference. But I think because I felt like I walked away from that tournament feeling like I didn't lose it. I felt like Cam came and won it, So I think that makes it feel a little better. It's still, you get so close and you don't quite come up with the goods. It's tough to handle at the time, but look, we lose a lot more than we win in this game, and you have to take the positives. And I shot 18 under par for 4 rounds at St. Andrews and give myself a chance to win the Open Championship. I had a 2-shot lead standing on the 10th tee, and I birdied 10, and you're thinking, just play smart on the way in, and you should have this. And it took a 30 on the back 9 from Cam, and obviously Cameron Young played great as well, and he got himself in the mix. So just one of those days where it didn't quite go my way, but I was still really happy with the performance that I put in.
You have been performing well throughout this season. Now you come to the playoffs. You've won 5 of these FedEx Cup playoff events. You've won 2 FedEx Cups. What attitude do you bring to the playoffs, considering these are 12 rounds and not just 4?
Yeah, I think for me it's the regular season's out of the way, and some guys that don't play Wyndham last week or any of those events through the summer. I've had 3 weeks off to just sort of rest and recover, and it's all about finishing the season off well. And it's all about, you've put yourself in a position to win it all, and it's one last big push until the end, and it's 3 weeks, and it's a lot of golf, and a lot of things can happen. But I think it's just that attitude of, you've had a good season, but let's push on and get it done at the end. When you sue the PGA Tour, you're suing every single member that plays out here. So, you're bringing something against your peers that you've played out here, week in, week out for the last few years, and that's what makes it feel a little personal. I'm not begrudging anyone for going over there. They got to make the decisions that are right for them, and everyone has the right to do that. But when players, that's why the players that put their name in that suit, the players that didn't, I have a little more respect for, because they know that they're making a decision and that they live with it, and it's, they're not affecting anyone else. They're going over there to play, and that's fine. Right now we've got that behind us, so it's nice to be able to just focus on the golf and go out here and try to crown a FedEx Cup winner.
McIlroy echoing the feeling of many players on the grounds here in Memphis, and that is relief that the temporary restraining order was denied by the judge in Northern California on Tuesday for Taylor Gooch, Hudson Swafford, and Matt Jones, meaning no LIV golfer will be a part of this year's edition of the FedEx Cup playoffs.
It's kind of like I said from the start, it's those guys were given an opportunity to go play, and just go play. You can have your cake, but you don't need to eat it too. And they got their fair share of a large amount of cake, and, go eat it on your own means. You don't need to bring it onto our tour. And I think we keep it how it is, and we can continue to build an unbelievable product that's given a lot of us, like myself, a great platform to just keep improving it.
And I've said to some of the guys personally, I think they've been brainwashed. by the way they feel so adamant that they're going to be back out on the PGA Tour. I've had several of them tell me, look forward to seeing you on tour again. And or no, they said, I'll see you on tour again. I said, no, you won't. I mean, a couple of them are pretty brainwashed in the way they're thinking and what they've been told. I just feel, as does a lot of members of the PGA Tour and a lot of employees of the PGA Tour, just feel, you know, a small vindication at this point because it's not over. But that everything that's been done is correct, and we are, you know, with our own right to do what they've done.
Joined now by our friend Rex Hoggard, who was in the courtroom, the U.S. District Court in Northern California yesterday for the hearing, and he flew at red eye, and now he's in Memphis. How big a win was it for the PGA Tour yesterday?
I think it was huge. I'm sure you and I both got a lot of text messages over the course of the last 12 hours. I think it was more of a sense of relief. I'm not sure if anyone is celebrating this because they know this is just the first step in what's going to be a very, very long process as we get into the antitrust lawsuit. But it was going to be destructive. We heard the Tour's own attorney talk about this yesterday. He was very eloquent when he talked about how destructive it would be if those players were here on that range, wearing the LIV Golf gear, doing interviews. He pointed out that would actually make the PGA Tour a platform for LIV Golf to promote their tour, and that was not acceptable.
Yeah, and it was interesting, too. It would have been uncomfortable for the players, not only those out here on the PGA Tour, but also for those three players if they were allowed to come out here and play. But that's obviously not going to be the case. What happens now in this broader case moving forward?
I think the judge touched on this late in the hearing after she'd made her ruling, and she threw out some dates. And normally judges I haven't seen do this. Normally it's a bit of a process trying to get these things scheduled looking forward. But because of how stacked and how crowded that court is going in the future, she offered 2 dates in late 2023 in the fall as a possible trial date. And she told the attorneys that if you can't work it into those dates, you're looking at 2025. So it gives you an idea of how long and how drawn out this process can be.
And if those players on LIV Golf don't get world ranking points, it'll take a while for that to happen. If that happens, I mean, those players, their world ranking is just going to plummet. Do we have a sense after yesterday's ruling in regards to the TRO who is now favored in this lawsuit, the PGA Tour or LIV Golf?
I think there's still a high level of confidence on both sides, and I'll give you an example. And I think you and I both have heard this, that 2 of the 3 players who were seeking the TRO, the temporary restraining order, were in Memphis yesterday. So there was a very, very high level of confidence that they were going to be granted that temporary restraining order. And on the other side, I think you can look at the PGA Tour. They were very, very confident, obviously, going into that courtroom yesterday as well. It's going to play out the exact same way with the antitrust lawsuit. I've spoken with lawyers on both sides of this, and they can make an argument for or against very, very easily, and you can get an idea why they have that level of confidence.
Yeah, it wasn't a complete slam dunk day on Tuesday for the PGA Tour because there is a long shadow in Cam Smith, number 2 in the world, an Open champion, a Players champion, and for the second time when asked at 2 different events, he gave no comment in regards to whether or not he is going to join LIV Golf, and there have been reports, many of them now, that he has already signed with LIV Golf. If LIV Golf obtains him, that's going to be a big win for them, and that's going to be a blow for the PGA Tour. But after what happened yesterday, it'll be interesting to see whether or not that sways Cam Smith to not join LIV Golf. Would you think?
I would think so, because this goes back to the idea that these players were under the impression they could, and again, this has been weaponized and it's a cliche, but they could have their cake and eat it too. They could play both tours was the understanding, and now that, at least in this case, that's been cut off, and it's a very small window, but it has been cut off. That might persuade some guys not to do it.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because Cam Smith could win the FedEx Cup, of course, as well. He's Rex Hoggard. I'm Todd Lewis. We go back to the studio.